folks, welcome back to the lab. It is a new year, and a new year calls for a little bit of shop maintenance. And yeah, I did some moving of things around here in the lab. It was an eventful couple of days here, and so. If you're a frequenter of this channel and the lantern videos, you are familiar with Supervisor Baby, who sits right here where this thing is, and it's lit for, when I do my lantern stuff. Well, this thing takes the brunt of all the excess and all the exhaust that comes off my bench grinder, which is right there. So all that stuff shoots out the back and just collects over here. Everything over there gets real dusty, all my stuff. Anyway, so he's taking a beating and are gonna clean him up. So it's been many, many months since he's had a good cleaning up. And I love his patina. We're not cleaning him up the way I clean things up. But yeah, we're just gonna give it a nice old cleaning here. And then we'll fire it back up. Okay, shop maintenance. Here we go. All right, so first we're gonna get rid of what's left of the kerosene in it. Shouldn't be too hard with this little guy. I don't even need the funnel, I don't think. Make sure I let it all come out of there because I'm going to be turning this thing upside down and everything. All right. Oops. My fat thumbs are almost too fat to get in that thumb ring. I cleaned this a couple weeks ago, but I'm sure I'm going to give it another cleaning. Just got to be careful. Make sure you don't scrub off your letters there. And I see maybe a little steel wool. Looks like there's some rust dust that I must have left there from the original restoration. I haven't even washed this or done anything to it since I cleaned her up the first time. Yeah, let's see. How can I put this in? I'll find it. Wow. Look at that. Look how much wick is left. I've been burning this like daily for months. Look at all that wick that's left. I don't remember how much I started with, but it certainly was not a whole lot more than that right there. Like that. Okay. So, first off, I think I'm going to throw some 409 on here and get toothbrush. New sacrificial toothbrushes. Oh, this will be all right. You know what I'm gonna do? Maybe I'll go to the sink and just give it a good scrub. So I want to make sure I rinse off the stuff, and then we'll do our little cleaning. So just some mild soap, toothbrush, and bada bing, bada boom. Make sure you get the molars in the back. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Well, I'll be back in a minute. So I came back in with the lantern and I just started staring at this globe. And I'm like, man, there's a lot of old dirt still on that I probably tried scrubbing off back when I did this, but didn't take it very far. Yeah, there's lots of splatters. Yeah, I mean, everything that splatters on this table goes in that little spot there where he sits. And I'm not getting anywhere near them letters with this steel wool. Yeah, look at that. This looks a million times different than when it looked like when I cleaned it just a couple of weeks ago. Nice. All right, great. So, all right, so we are back. Looks pretty darn good. But I'm going to just give it a once over. Not everywhere, but most spots I'm going to give it a once over with 800 grit just to knock down some spurs and things here. Or maybe I'll just do it with some steel wool. Why not? Hi, Natskis. Because I'd probably just do the steel wool after that anyway. I'm just doing this very lightly. All I'm doing is just smoothing the paint out. Now tell you what, this little glove guard is pain in the butt. It just loves being away. I tell you what, though, I am not used to working on lanterns this small. I've had, a couple Super Babies, a number of Comets, but it's been a while. I wonder if there's any paint under that, or if that's just blackened. I'm looking to see if I could bring out some paint, but I don't think there's any paint left. Cleaning it up good, though. Right. Okay, nice. Everything's all nicely smoothed. So I think now we'll throw some oil on it, and then we're done. No, actually, then we'll fill it back up, and we'll fire it up. Look at all that. Okay, well, I want to make sure that we dry this out real good. First, I see steel wool dust all over everything as I use this brush that's completely covered in dust from dusting with it. Like I said, I was here in the shop doing some shop maintenance. Did a lot of dusting because I kick up a shit ton of dust, either with the little Dremel tool or the big bench grinder here. I've got nothing to catch any of that, except everything here in the shop and even into my home. Things have, I get a lantern that's like, had red paint on it, and I use the grinder to get good amounts of that red paint off. That's a couple months ago. Everything in my house had this nice pinkish settlement of dust on it. It was pretty awful. All right, let's throw a little bit of oil on this thing. Wiping the oil off this thing is going to be interesting because it's just so tiny. And I'll get my tiny brush out. Right. Let that do its wicking. All right, we're all wicked. Yeah, Supervisor Baby's got a new pair of shoes. I was contemplating whether I wanted to replace Supervisor Baby with something else. I have yet to find a suitable replacement for Supervisor Baby. He does have a big brother, Baby. His big brother is Baby. But he's a little big. He's a little big to be playing here in the lab. At least here, right here next to where I do all the work. It's got to be something super baby size. So, why bother looking for a replacement, right? I've got a number of these small lanterns. but they're just like no name, made in Hong Kong type. They look nice in a display, you know, with all of them. I got them here on the wall here in my shop. I've never even fired one of those up to see how good they burn, the cheap ones. I mean, the science is there for them to work properly, right? I mean, with air ventilation and a wick and fuel, I mean, they're going to burn. The question is how well. And this being so little, it puts out a surprising amount of light. It really does. Yeah, all this oil is going to get burned right up because this, you can see by how dark this is. This thing gets seriously hot. Seriously hot. Yeah, I even got some fresh rags in here rather than them really beat up ones that look like that. Yeah. One thing I hate that I always forget to do. I mean, I consistently forget to take you know, like a nice before video or photos of lanterns I work on. I'm just so bad at that. I don't know why, but I wish I did more of that. What's that coming from? Some chunks of carbon coming from somewhere. Because, I mean, you know, recording before and after is kind of good data, really. Oh, that's about it. Man, look how much brighter. How much brighter Supervised Baby is. It's like he went out and got a tan. Got a new set of onesies. Let me check see if there's any moisture left in there. Yeah, it's kind of wet looking. And there's all kinds of steel wool dust stuck here. Steel wool dust all down in that crack behind there, which is bad. That's bad news. That's bad news for surface rust. Any kind of just pop-up rust, flash rust, because that steel wool is going to rust 100 times faster than any of the metals on your lantern because of its surface area, and it's so tiny and it's so vulnerable. So if you do like what I just did, if you treat with, like, you know, something that you rub on, you know, like WD-40 or gun oil or any of that stuff, it's going to pick up that dust, and it's just going to spread that dust all over your lantern. And once, you know, that oil dissipates and kind of goes away, that dust stays stuck to your lantern, and that's going to be the first thing to rust. I mean, you can sit there and almost do a time lapse with your cell phone and watch steel wool rust in like a couple of hours. It'll completely rust. Just like those SOS pads that, you know, you scrub one pot with them at the sink and you put it in a little bowl there next to the edge of your sink. The next time you go to use it, it's this big freaking brown rusty blob. Yeah, we don't want that. Okay. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this in and sit it on a warm radiator for a couple minutes. Just let it dry out. Any ideas of moisture in there. What's that? Yeah, I guess I never noticed before that inside this tank is not perfection. I'll tell you what. The inside, amazingly, looks very different than the outside. It's a little chewed up, a little rusty. Okay. All right. I'll be back in a sec. It must be right underneath that filler cap. I brought it in here and set it down, and a couple little pieces of this kind of flew out, and I'm like, where the heck is that coming from? And I started tapping on it, and all this started flying out. So I run a nice clean lantern. I don't crank them up to where they smoke or anything. So this, obviously, somebody had run this thing pretty hard. Oh yeah, okay. I can take care of that. It's usually how lanterns go here. You know, you're like, oh, I'm just gonna fill this lantern up with kerosene, and you end up finding all kinds of problems that, like me, I can't let go. I gotta sit there and I gotta fix them up. Okay, I got my 2 layers of glasses on. I got my headlamp. Yeah, that's where it all is. Wow, there's a lot of it. Yeah, wow, this thing was a soot machine to whoever was running it. So rich. Okay. Oh, shit. Okay, well. Now I got to brush this thing off because it's all sticking to where we treated. So the thing is about charcoal is that it's impossible for it not to put a mark all over something even when you just lightly rub it on there. Like I just went to wisp all that off the board here, and it's like I wrote my name in it. And where I hit the stuff that came out, where I touched it here on the body of the beast, it just leaves big dirty black marks, and I just freaking cleaned that thing. Yeah, look at all that right there. Jesus. Now it's all like down in that spot where it was never before. That's annoying. Yeah, that's all new dirt. That literally took about a half second for it to happen. Well, you know, this is a supervisor baby, so it's only going to take one project for supervisor baby to be all dirty and messed up again. All right, so now the tank's all nice and dry. Let's do some assembling, and then we'll put it back together, and boom. All right, let's put some fuel in there. Oh, let's assemble first. Oh yeah, this thing's gonna go out another year or two without me needing to put a new wick in it. Good thing I got 6 feet of that. Okay. All right. Cool thing is, I mean, this you'll get, you know, like 6 6 hours out of a tank of this. And I mean, how much does this tank hold, you know? Less than a cup. Okay, nice. Whoa. Did you guys see that? I hope I can put that in slow-mo because that match just flew across the room on fire. The head popped right off. Weird. Yeah, it exploded all over the side of here. All right. We have achieved clean supervisor, baby. Can't tell much of a difference, but I can. And it won't be long before it's all covered in crap again. But supervisor baby is a workhorse. He just works, doesn't complain, does his thing. So that's where he resides most of the time, right there. All right, folks, that is it for a little cleanup, little shop maintenance here in the Chef Birdland lab, where his main supervisor baby. And to those of you who haven't been here before, this model is called a super baby. So he turned into supervisor baby. Yeah. And this is a feuerhand. It's a German made. This was made in Germany, probably right after the Second World War. Okay, folks, thank you so much for stopping by, and don't you go changing.
We'll be back with the Magic Tunes for the Armada Room's 2-hour disco swing party after this short break. Till then, don't you go changing.
Sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog.